Welcome to Our Morning Take, the podcast where our goal here is to describe for you the movie that is going on in our head when we read the Bible.
Good morning, everybody. It's a new week. It's a Monday. I believe it's like must be the 11th? March the 11th, right, Tim?
Yes, it is.
7-11. I do have a birthday today.
Yes, you do.
I mean, it's not mine, but my middle daughter, Krista Donovan, is so many years old today. She's not quite 40 yet, let's put it that way. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah.
I love you. Okay. These
happy
guys
birthday.
They could care less. Yeah, there's a big story with that, too, about I used to call her on the March 10th, and I was always a day off. But you can understand that with all the dates.
Yeah.
Or a day early.
Yeah, I was a day early.
Yeah, I mean, as in,
And I told
earlier
Chris-
before everybody else.
And I told Chris that. I was like, would you not rather me be a day early than call you on the 12th?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. It was yesterday, Dad. Thanks, though.
That's my brother's birthday's at 12.
All right.
I mean, as many kids and as wives.
Stop it.
Oh, no.
As many wives as you had, it's hard to keep them all straight.
We got through no
Yes.
days, and then Tim already hits that.
I need a rim shot over here for myself. Yeah. I tell him to make sure that he's ready for that so people know he's kidding. I'm beginning to think he's not kidding. All right. Anyway, what happened over the weekend, Abe? You do all right?
Yeah, everything was good. Had a good weekend.
Legalized gambling, March
Yeah.
11th. I think FanDuel started yesterday.
Yeah,
I think yesterday
they're
was
going to
first
be
day.
going crazy.
Oh,
Well, they have about 100 ads every 2 hours on the internet.
I know.
FanDuel's like,
Let's go, North Carolina.
it's like, let's go, North Carolina. They
I know.
throw in it's like,
Yeah, it's for South Carolina, Tennessee, West
Yeah.
Virginia, whatever those are.
Yeah, I tell you,
I
it's
think
gonna
they
be
added
crazy.
like 22 states or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just ridiculous. But that's where the world is at right now. Nick, how's your health, man? What's your shoulder looking like?
my health is always declining, so at least I'm consistent.
Yes, you
are. Shoulder, I'm going through therapy for that, and I believe it's working. It does seem like I have a little bit more mobility.
Yeah, so you was worried that the therapy would just ruin it, and you probably needed surgery. And now it sounds like the therapy might actually be
Possibly,
the thing you need.
yeah.
There you go.
Possibly, yeah.
All right, Abe, what's going on in your neck of the woods, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just
What's going on in your neighborhood? What's that? Weatherman?
That's Al
You're-
Roker.
Yeah, you're neck of the woods. Yeah, that's what
Yeah, he always says it. No, everything's good.
All right.
Business as usual.
All right. Tim won some awards at the photo conference. We
Yes,
talked
he
about
did.
that last week. Did you get anything? Did you make any money, Tim?
Off of the
Any
off of
monetary
those?
awards?
No. That's not. That's just bragging rights. basically.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, listen. Well, I guess we'll just get right on into the thing then. We're in Exodus. We have finished all the plagues. And Mr. Nick over there, he's got like a synopsis of what each plague actually, why God chose the Nile, why God chose frogs, why God chose gnats, why God chose the beast, why he chose darkness. And so we might get through that a little bit after.
Even possibly, even the last one, the death of the firstborn, which isn't a specific God, but
That's why I said
spoiler
after we
alert.
get,
Yeah,
after we get through this Passover section,
Yeah.
maybe a little later in the week. So you want to tune in a little later in the week if you're interested in some of these historical facts. So now we've made it up to Exodus chapter 12. This is the last plague, and God has given the children of Israel some directions for how the angel of death will pass over them. And the last verse we read was God speaking to Moses. He said, "And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt." Abe, do you remember me talking last Friday, about God didn't look at who was in the house? All he looked at was the blood on the door. Did I mention that?
I do believe you did.
Okay. I didn't know if I'd said that like off the air or on the air. But I will say this much in case, because I haven't listened to Friday's podcast, so sometimes this is why I hate Mondays, because I'm usually a little foggy. But I'll say this much. We talk a lot about saying the prayer. We talk a lot about accepting Christ as our Savior, believing that he died and he resurrected, and that will take us to heaven. And we don't concentrate a lot about our life. And some people use this passage to correlate that, because It didn't matter who was in the house. It didn't matter how bad they were. It didn't matter what kind of life they lived. It could have been an Egyptian. But if the blood was on the doorpost, the angel of death passed over, and there was no judgment on any of those people in the house. So that sounds pretty good, don't it?
I mean, I think if the people in the house, and this is just me. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. I think if the people in the house who are not believers, something like that happens, and that could draw them in. To me personally, I'll be like, wow, I could have died, but I'm in the house with the Johnson family, and they're believers, so I need to get in on what they're doing because this is serious.
Because they believe.
Yeah.
See, so it's not just about believing, because they could believe and stay home.
Yeah.
But the angel of death would have attacked. They would have lost their firstborn. But to believe and come into the house that has the blood on it, now you're protected. Mm-hmm. So what I really get out of this is exactly the way we are saved, the way we are redeemed today. The blood has to be applied. Jesus Christ died, and he has to apply the blood. That is for sure. However, God just finished about 9 verses of the things that you have to do before the blood becomes efficacious, before the blood has the ability to do what it is that it's going to do. If they would not have eaten the whole lamb, if they would have slaughtered a lamb with only 3 legs, would the blood on the door have been any good? Would the angel of death actually still passed over?
Well, everything was very specific, and you had to be obedient and follow it to the letter. I mean, there's no gray area with that. It's like you said, you couldn't have a lamb with 2 legs. Everything has to be according to what God said to do.
And if it wasn't, the angel of death would have still went in, even though there's blood on the doorpost.
Yeah. Fast forward to the future, if it wasn't the perfect sacrifice on the cross, say, well, let's just get some good, kind man up there. And it had to be God.
Yeah. Or Jesus, just a good man.
So like the lamb, everything had to be done just right. Well, on the cross, it had to be just right. It had to be, It had to be Jesus. He had to shed blood. He had to die and take on the full wrath of God.
And if you really believe that his blood is what saves you, redeems you, gives you eternal life, you have to be obedient to the things that God tells you to do in order for the blood to be efficacious. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
People downplay this whole idea of obedience, this whole idea of a holy life, this whole idea of giving up sin. Stop sinning.
They'll call it, that's works-based, or that's lordship salvation. That's wrong. But it's in there. It's
exactly
in the Bible.
You still have to be obedient, or the blood does no good at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was my sermon for today. We're going to do just a little bit of reading. Let's start in about the 14th verse, and let's see where we want to go to, Abe. Is the man ready?
Yeah, he just needs to know where you want him to stop.
I think we'll go to 21. Let's do 21. Let's see if we can get through those 8 verses.
Okay, sounds good.
Go for it.
Egypt.
All right.
And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
Forever.
7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation. And in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the 1st month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread, until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel, and said unto them,
Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you.
All right, there you go. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll review. See y'all then.